And we want to introduce our last panelists. We are going to talk about the awareness raising plan for the figure of the procedural facilitators. We have Olga Berrios, responsible of communication at the CEACOG. She's the head of communication, Olga Berrios, of the CEACOG, and Ana Belén Sevillano, who has a degree in law and in social education, and she is responsible for the legal area of Plena Inclusión Castilla León, and she is coordinated access to justice and also the role of the CEACOG procedural facilitator in Castilla León. So now you have the floor. Okay, I'm going to speak from the lecturer. I want to say that I am here on behalf of a bigger team that has collaborated in the design and adaptation to easy reading and validation of the material with the participation of professionals from the CEACOG and the territorial teams. We have participated in different meetings and in the redesign of the material. Mainly, I would like to convey to you that this is a very difficult content to clarify and to adapt and to facilitate. Precisely, I was thinking about two different reasons. With the lack of a habit, we are very much used to having a lawyer whenever you have to deal with justice, but with a facilitator, it will take you years to really be aware of that figure, of that role, and then we should establish an automated thinking about this, the existence of this figure. It should always be there, and it should always be available, and we should perhaps start to think instantly that we can access a facilitator whenever we need to. And there were many colleagues that have gone through difficulties to just clarify why they are needed. So just a brief presentation of material. All the material that I'm going to introduce will be uploaded to the web. Some of them we just received them today, and we will upload them shortly. But there will be 5 parts that I want to introduce to you. A poster, a leaflet, a couple of videos, a web page with more information, and then a section of more resources, even more resources. The poster is conceived to be placed in areas where those people will be in the situation to need to have access. It could be in a police headquarters or in a court, and you could have a QR code where you can just be taken to the web page where you have information about everything in case you need to understand what a facilitator is all about and what are the limits of their support and of their assistance. And then we also want to publish a leaflet that will be downloaded from the web page, and the idea is to be able to leave some in those places, in police headquarters and the courts, and with more detail, even perhaps with a form to request that procedural facilitator in that specific environment. If you find yourself in the field of police headquarters, you can fill in the form and deliver that form to the policemen, and they will be obliged to provide you with that support. And those are different formats, different possibilities, and different alternatives. I would like to thank the colleagues from the validation team. They helped us a lot with the design of the leaflet. I'm going to be brief because it seems that we are running out of time, but we have 3 videos, one about awareness raising to explain how important this figure, this facilitator is, so that it can be watched in the field of the justice and also to be shown to the whole of society. And Juanjo, if you can play the first video. Juan has just received a letter from the court. In it, they say that he has to appear before court, but it is written in a very strange language and he cannot understand. He goes to his lawyer and he asks about it, and we all know how complex the language and the jargon, the legal jargon is. And for people with understanding disabilities, this problem is even bigger, and that's why we need a procedural facilitator. The facilitator is a professional that helps people with disabilities and with difficulties with understanding to understand information and to express themselves when they have to go to the police or to a court. This figure is recognized by different Spanish pieces of legislation and can help us understand things better, because everyone has a right to understand and to be understood, because if it is easy, it is fair. Ministry of Social Agenda 2030, Ministry of Spain, the Government of Spain. Okay, and now we are going to watch another video that would be more focused on. I always remember a case that we had within access to justice. Apart from a paper, you need different formats, different types of text. The more diverse formats are, the better the people will receive that information. This is a more extensive video that could play the role of the video. It could play, or you could use the leaflet or the video to explain to those people that need the facilitator. For example, facilitators could show you the video or send you the video in the first meeting so that they can explain exactly what this role is all about and how they can help people that need that support. And Juanjo, if you can play the second video. You have to go to the police or to a court and you need help to understand the information or to express yourself. You have a right to a procedural facilitator. A procedural facilitator is a professional that helps people with disabilities when they want to access justice. For example, when they have to go to court or when they have to interact with law enforcement officers like the police, when they report an offense, they make sure that there's good communication between the parties. They help people with disabilities and understanding difficulties to understand the information. For example, when they are explained something or when they are given a document to express themselves, to be able to make their own decisions, to be able to receive the support that they need. That support are procedural adjustments. The facilitator will help you when you want to understand and be understood. But be aware that they are neutral. That is to say, they don't issue an opinion on the case. They don't make decisions or speak on behalf of the people with disability. They are not lawyers that defend them. They do not provide them with support as a psychologist. They inform you about the different steps of the process, collects information to get to know you better, reads your reports, and talks to you and to the people you trust. Writes a document to ask for the necessary adjustments, informs about your needs to those professionals and the police forces. Some examples of procedural adjustments that you can apply for. Easy to understand documents, for example, the sentence in easy language, simple language, or using pictograms, or to speak more slowly, or for the judges and the policemen to receive that document with your specific needs, and they can cater for you better. If you need that, the law says that you have the right to request a procedural facilitator. I didn't want to close this presentation without thanking the agency Rosa Parks, our designer, the people that have helped. They all have played a role in this result. About the webpage, you have the leaflet and the poster there. The two videos will be uploaded there as well. The idea and the purpose is to have you to give you this material so that you can have it available. You go to CEACOG.es and you press what to do. you have access to a facilitator, and then you get the poster and the videos and the leaflet, and you can see all the information there. And then there's another part that our colleagues from the facilitator line have been working on, which is to collect a set of resources, simple language documents, things that are organized in a way by profiles, documents for professionals, for law enforcement officers, for investigative professionals, so that they can delve deeper into specific areas, and that's what we have called resources. But also within the web page, if you press ¿qué hacemos? What do we do? You will have access to that in that tab, in that button about resources for the facilitators. And you see here the whole map of the site. And this is a huge amount of work, of teamwork, that has been developed in order to gather this information and to raise awareness about this basic figure if you need it on a daily basis, but also to learn more from different perspectives. And that's what I wanted to tell you, those 5 chapters. Okay, so very briefly, and to close this session, because we've been sitting here for several hours, I now have the duty to tell you about the, I don't know how to work with this. Okay. Can we put up Belen's presentation? It's this one, but I am going back and forth. Sorry. Why do we introduce this? I can imagine some years ago, Inés de la Hoz in Enrique's office, going back and forth to tell them that there's a figure that is the facilitator, it is important that we implement it, and then Enrique will say, no, but not only a facilitator, we're going to do several things. And then we have the CEACOG ship, and there we encompassed several workers from all over Spain. We wanted to have like the Noah's Ark, but it is important, and in the end we have been able to keep afloat, and I continue to look for the place where I have to start, but anyway, and in that journey of the discovery of the facilitator, then there's a storm, and then we have to take an exam, and we all got very nervous because we needed to take an exam, and we need to draft some documents so that we raise awareness and so on, and documents so that when we run ashore, that's what we have been doing in the last month throughout 2023, and more about the dissemination of the knowledge. We wanted to incorporate that 4th pillar of explaining what we are doing and what we are creating, and to explain this role, which is a function that has really no framework and no legislation behind it. It started in 2018 with a motion. And there's a royal decree defining their functions in 2023. So we have spent 5 years without any coverage, and we had no map whatsoever, and we needed to see where our journey was taking us. But at some point in time, they asked who have been taking this journey, and so the forensic psychologist, they said, and so we went to them to get some information from them. Throughout those months, we have implemented several actions in different areas, in different environments. We have implemented actions with law enforcement officers, because we needed to tell them about what we had been doing. And in a few months, we have developed more than 25 actions with the participation of more than 650 people. There are 655 participants from the law enforcement bodies that have heard at some point about the figure of the procedural facilitator, because it was something that we wanted to get into their DNA, because it is part of our DNA. So whenever we delivered a training session, whenever we attended some professional gathering, and of course when we have this all this information that Olga has given us, we have raised awareness among the different stakeholders about this role. And also the judicial operators are another important group of stakeholders. That's very clear in some countries. As was said at the beginning of the morning, they do not incorporate the facilitator from the first moment in the whole judicial part when we have some questions that are evolving, and there we are now in 52 moments with 823 participants. We have had judges, prosecutors, forensic experts that have heard about the role of the facilitator and that have acknowledged that they cannot speak to people with disabilities, that they have difficulties doing that. And we realized that this role was very much needed, and now that we fit it all together, they all recognize humbly that it is difficult to speak to them and to convey messages to them. They don't know really how to deal with that.
But at Plena, we also thought it was necessary to know what there is. And because we are very used to talking about supporting communication, but this is something else. We also have to explain it. So entities don't always know that we are neutral, that we are not going to advise around any of the things that are being done, and also talk about the need of our task. So we have been there with 56 actions with 611 participants, and many of them have are here with a commitment to continue for some time. And besides that, we have in many cases we walk per sector, and each of them knows what they're doing. But sometimes we have a very wide work to do, and around 17 actions we have carried out in our own federations. We have 251 colleagues that have already heard about the facilitator. And we have to take into account that facilitator is between justice and the person who's going to help them communicate. And we've had 30 proposals, mainly training, of our own training, and many people with disabilities have also learned that they have a right to ask for a facilitator. Now it's going to be much easier for them to understand it, thanks to all the work that's been done from all the other areas of CEACOG in the creation of these materials. And we have other actions. We have been involved in social networks, and this has been permeating. It's like with good Spanish ham, you have that little part of fat, and that's what gives you the nice taste, and that's what actually stays there. So, we need things to permeate that way, and we have had 23 actions, especially social networks. We've been in the media. We have participated in different master's degrees, and we are including that in all. It's been part of our society, and we have carried out over 200 actions and have reached almost 3,500 people in Spain. We have 40 million inhabitants, so we have reached some people. There's still a lot to do, and months. Not. We haven't got a lot of time, and maybe some people should have been kicked out of the boat, but that's fine, because you always learn that you have to be patient and you need to navigate things properly. And huge applause for those who have known how to work from the technical side and to be able to coordinate from everything from CEACOG, because that's a seed that we believe is necessary. We have to keep on working, and if some of them want to keep on doing things and keep on navigating, well, I believe we're going to get there, and I believe we are going to reach safe harbor. Well, we have reached the last round table. You can stand here or not. If you have questions for any of the participants throughout the morning, that's great. Otherwise, we'll have Blanca finish my moderator. They were self-moderated because you're all great and you say regulated without an issue. And given that I'm here, well, I would like to thank all my colleagues from CEACOG. And as we've mentioned, it's been quite intense, very enriching. And precisely given the different profiles we have had. Sometimes you tell me I don't speak, I mean, my language is a bit weird, but sometimes you don't speak very clearly. I know that we have said that legal jargon is very complex, but I must recognize that I have learned an awful lot about other languages and other ways of saying things. And it's been very enriching. So thank you very much. And it's been a true pleasure to work with you, and we'll keep on working.